Ecosystem NFTs are all the rage right now. What I'm really talking about when I say ecosystem NFTs is our NFT, our NFTs that contribute to the entire Solana ecosystem in some way. They're not just their own self-contained project. We've seen this with Genesis Go and the shadowy supercoders. That's really all about building infrastructure, the servers and networks themselves that run the entire Solana blockchain. We also see this with NFT projects that are in the DeFi space. Really, they're a DeFi protocol that just has an NFT component. Well, today I sat down with an escrow service called Yawww. You're probably familiar with Yawww if you use Twitter at all, because they're pretty much the only place that we recognize as an official escrow service in the Solana NFT space. We talked about where Yawww is going, where they currently are and where they're going, and in particular, how their NFTs fit into the mix. How does their token work, and what are the benefits for being an NFT holder. Now, if you're watching this video, the pre-sale for the Quantum Traders NFT has probably just completed. The public sale is launching tomorrow, January 5th, and it's going to be an exciting one, I bet. Of course, nothing in this video should be construed as financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor or a professional in any way. You should always do your own research when it comes to investing, whether in NFTs, crypto, or anything, because there is inherent risk, and you should do what's best for you and your situation. So with that being said, let's talk to Robo about what Yawww has going on behind the scenes. Let's go. So excited for this. Sitting down with Robo, part of the Yawww platform. We all know that really in Solana right now, the big thing that's happening is utility. And not just utility within the NFT itself, but utility for the entire Solana ecosystem. So today, actually in just a couple hours from right now when we're recording this, the Yawww platform is releasing an NFT launch called the Quantum Traders. Now, there's a lot to talk about and unpack here. So why don't we start from the very beginning? What is Yawww, and what does it do for the Solana ecosystem as a whole?
Happy to talk about that, and happy to be here, Knox. Also, excited but nervous due to the upcoming pre-sale, but we're looking good. So, why we built it in the beginning was that we noticed the gap, right? The status quo of trading NFTs was happening via Discord, and we basically, the public detail or the information that we got our hands on, 500,000 worth of NFTs were already scanned at that point before we were able to build Yawww. And so for us, there was a clear gap in the ecosystem, obviously still a young one, that why isn't there a safe way to, that people could trade these NFTs with each other, right? Like you don't necessarily have to go to a marketplace and sell it there because you actually want to stay in part of the project. Maybe you want to trade it for a cheaper one, or maybe you want to trade it for another one, right? So you're not necessarily looking to liquidate. And that was basically our base camp one, right? Solve the trading thing. Right now, we're still in alpha, and we're actually going to launch the beta after the mint next week. But right now, it's a rather limited use case, right? Like you can trade one-to-one NFTs. It's often easy to find, NFTs that are equal value. So basically, the beta will be serving for a lot more flexible use case where you can trade multiple NFTs to each other, like 2 to 3 or 1 to 4 or whatever. There's going to be no limitations. Or you can directly trade an NFT for Sol as well, right? So just make it into entry. But that will basically be the beta of the trading side of things. And then you have another world or universe, which is gaming. And that's basically, we right now have our first game live, RPS, or rock, paper, scissors. It's a pretty simple game with simple mechanics. But basically where we're going with this is, if you sort of zoom out, you look at the trading, it's basically like a module, right? Like it's an escrow module. And then you look at the gaming, and we will eventually tie this together in player versus player gaming, where you can play these games against other people. For those who are listening who were playing RuneScape back in the day, like the you could stake your gear or items with each other, and that was perhaps one of the most fun features of the games. And that's where we're going with this as well, right? Like you put your items into a safe escrow, you want to play for it, or you just want to yo it. So that's sort of our near-term future build where we're going with the platform right now.
Okay. So I want to kind of circle back to one thing. It sounds like the idea right now is an escrow service, or its primary use case right now is an escrow service to stop having to. There's a lot of risk when you do over-the-counter trades, right?
Absolutely.
It's like, well, who's going first? Are you going first? How do I know that what you're sending me is legit? How do I know that? So that solves a big security risk, I think, is a fantastic thing. But are you also going to try to be a market maker? Are we going to be able to like browse NFTs that people are willing to trade?
So that's a great question. And the line is a bit vague there, right? Like the line between a marketplace and the line between what you asked, right? So not going into too much detail because my developers will kill me, but yes, we are looking towards that as well, right? Like because even though we have solved the technical piece of this, that you can safely trade, but finding another site is still very, very complex right now, right? Like you still need to find someone in Discord. People are scattered around in different channels, so that piece is still very difficult. But the short answer is yes, we're looking to solve that as well.
Okay, I think that's going to be the huge, at least thesis for me, is because as someone who has a lot of high value NFTs, okay, perfect example. Like Bard Stocks last night tweeted about, there was a Degen ape that sold for an extraordinary amount of money or something like that. And the thing that stood out to me in the picture was the marketplace fee of $18,000 was the actual fee that went to the marketplace. And what ends up happening for these high value NFTs, most people don't actually buy and sell on the open market like that. They actually have to go out and seek a buyer because at some point, the average person doesn't have $300,000 just laying around. Right. If you have a $300,000 NFT, you have to go find someone who has that kind of money to buy it from you. So that's actually the hardest part to having high value and rare NFTs. That's actually one of the big reasons why people steer away from high value NFTs and stick to the floors, because that's where the liquidity is. If you create something that advertises high value NFTs seeking escrow service, avoiding $20,000 marketplace fees and stuff like that, I think you've actually got something that would be of tremendous value for really every NFT project, because they all have rare NFTs as part of their collection, but also for rare NFT investors who, at some point want to sell or trade.
Yeah, you're spot on. I completely agree. And, you also mentioned, valuable for the collection owners. And so far, very grateful that majority of the collection owners have immediately been able, or have, raise their hands that, yes, perfect, let's get verified so that our community does not get scammed, right? And it does add an extra layer of utility to the communities as well, right? Like your people can trade with each other, which means they don't necessarily have to list per floor, your floor is more stable, et cetera, plus it's just fun, right? So yeah, it's a humbling experience in that sense.
Yeah, awesome. So who can use the Yawww platform right now? Is it open to everyone?
It's open to everyone.
Okay.
Anyone can go there, set up a trade. Shortly, again, the beta will launch hopefully next week. Don't quote on me. Well, it's actually ready, but we just, given the mint, it was just too much at once to let it out there, but yeah, from next week, everybody will be able to use multi-trading or direct. You have some Degen apes, I know, so I can just pick them off from you in return for Sol.
Cool.
So it will hopefully cater to any use case that one would have as it relates to trading.
Yeah, actually, I've got one in mind right now. I've got an NFT. There's a one-of-one collection that's rolling out called Cyberpunks in Style. And I think they're going to be very high value, but it's also the type of thing where, I might seek, an individual buyer, and this would be a perfect use case for that.
Right. We got to stream it, Knox. We got to stream it.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe so. Maybe so. I don't know. I'm trying to step away from YouTube, but maybe that'll be something that'll come back. Okay. I'll come out of retirement for that. Okay. So I understand your platform. I'm excited about your platform.
Thank you.
Where do the NFTs come in? What, like these? You've got SolStein already, right? And then there's Quantum Traders. Walk me through this, because there's two of them.
So yes, there's going to be two of them. At this moment, still one. The SolStein was our first collection, even before Yawww existed. And I'm very lucky to have a great team around me, and we have 3 PhDs in the crew, and SolStein science. It was no brainer at that point. So SolStein is our first NFT collection. 2222 is the size of the NFT collection. And they will obviously be, taken to the ride, hopefully of success now going forward with the platform. And same for the Quantum Traders. So the Quantum Traders is a collection of 8,888 NFTs. I'm bad at quick math, but you add them both together. And every NFT holder will basically be able to participate in the success of the Yawww platform. And what that means is 50% of any revenue that we make, whether that comes from the NFT aftermarket or the platform fees itself, will be going into the treasury. And you can take a closer look about the details about the treasury and all of that also in our white paper. But basically, the treasury will act as a stability pillar for our upcoming token, which we will release in our IDO. So this is basically a mechanism to expand our community and also invite people in to participate in the success of it as well. Because without the community, this platform will not be successful, and so it's only fair, and it's a win-win for everyone basically.
Okay, so fees on the platform as of right now, how are they? They're paid in Sol?
Yes, right now it's fees are in Sol. So if we're talking about trading, there's since the beta isn't out, but there's going to be a flat fee of 0.02 Sol on both sides, and then 3% if any Sol is included, and that's it. No added fees there. And with the gaming, it's a flat 3% fee as well.
Okay, so fees are paid in Sol. 50% of the fee goes to the treasury, if I heard that right. So you're going to be sitting on a pile of Sol in the treasury, which is then going to be used as a stability mechanism for the upcoming token launch and IDO.
Yes.
Do you have a name for that token yet?
Yawww token.
Yawww token. All right, good.
Perfect. One W.
One W. Okay, perfect.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so we've got the Yawww token. Where does the Yawww token come in, and how does that fit with SolSteins and Quantum Traders?
And that's how we tie everything together, right? Because
Alexa's yelling at me. Alexa, stop. Sorry about that.
That's okay. So the Yawww token comes into play to tie this entire value chain together, basically. Because there was also an alternative route, share the profits, right? Like there are companies already do this, usually smaller communities. We know that there is some legalities issue or ifs behind it. And also, quite frankly, we thought that since this is a long-term play for us, if we share the revenue right now with all of our NFT users, they won't get a lot, right? Because we are very early stage. So the token is created so that the entire value can be shared back to the users, not by directly sharing the revenue, but allocating half of the treasury to support the token, and also, including other investors in the community into the token itself so that it holds value. So that's sort of the thinking behind it. And every NFT holder will be able to, so now I have to quickly remember the exact percentages, but I believe it was 54%. You can check me on it on the white book, on the white paper, but 54% of the entire circulation supply will go only to the NFT holders, and that will take place over 24 months, basically. Yeah.
Okay, so there's a finite supply because it's going to be emitted over 2 years, right? It's not just going to be emitted in perpetuity. So it's not it's not inflationary because there's a finite supply, which is the first thing that comes to mind.
Correct. Yep, okay. You're right.
Is there a burn mechanism?
Well, that will be actually decided later, because the treasury will also act as a, you will be able to use Yawww, for example, instead of fees, or instead of Sol, for paying for fees, right? So then that goes back to the treasury. Whether we end up burning that or whether we end up, taking that back to circulation, that's going to be the decision of the community, basically.
Cool. Got it.
But there's a kicker to the treasury, which I think isn't known to a lot of people at this point. But we have taken a decision that after the 24 months, we will hand over the treasury to the Yawww token holders. So it will actually become a governance token. And so we will select 3, well, how would you call them, board members, who will then take over the treasury from the Yawww crew, and we hand it over. So basically, at that point, the community will own the treasury, which...
Oh, my headphones are going out. I'm sorry, I'm going to plug in my headphones.
Okay.
Keep talking.
That was pretty much the point. All right, are you back?
Back.
Yes. Did you hear it?
Yes.
Yeah. So that's sort of the kicker, or the cherry on the top from our perspective.
That's fantastic. I love it.
It's also easy for us. Then we don't need to, maintain it. Then it's up to the community. What is the best use of the funds?
So they become a DAO. Or no, I guess it's
yes.
a governance token. So it's not necessarily a DAO, right? I guess they could form a DAO.
It could be. Yes,
for governance token holders. Okay.
Correct.
Okay, and they can... Yeah, go ahead.
And then that decision is also, why not give it away immediately? Because, well, again, we are in an early stage. We currently believe that, we need to be nimble and very fast with certain decisions, especially in the beginning of the IDO, right? Like where there is potentially more instability, and then, hand over once we hit a certain milestone, or no longer than the 24 months vesting period that all the NFT holders will have.
So it's going to be a stake and emit. It's not going to be an airdrop of these tokens.
There's going to be an initial airdrop, which will be mint price worth, basically, as it relates to which NFT do you hold. But yes, the rest will be vested over or staked over 24 months. Because
the SolStein and the Quantum Trader don't earn the exact same amount?
That is also correct. And the yield for both of the NFTs, we took decisions, obviously, a lot of people have been with us from the SolStein. We are grateful for them, and we owe them for supporting us. So the SolSteins will actually be at the forefront of the yield curve. And so we have interwoven, if that's proper English, I don't know. Boom. But we have interwoven the 2 collections. And so the SolSteins are at the top of the curve as it relates to yield.
That's fantastic. So I also dig the artwork of the Quantum Traders. That's definitely like, where did that come from? Who was the inspiration there?
Daft Punk.
Nice.
Yeah. Well, a bit of Daft Punk, and it's also the gaming theme, right? Like this retro synthwave vibes, and it just immediately clicked. Like, this is it. Like, this is the Yawww droid. And if you check closely, the helmets of the Yawww droids also featured a Y, which is the Yawww first letter, obviously. So we love hearing it. People so far seem digging it, and we also think, given the position that we sit in the ecosystem, we're featuring 20 different projects, and all of them equally important in their own different ways. And so it's just cool, because ecosystem is just has received this very well.
Yeah, I'm definitely digging it, man. It's a cool vibe. It's a cool look. Okay, so I guess take me through, like, you're going to have the mint today. Beta is going to be rolling out potentially. Don't hold me to this. Potentially next week.
Yes.
Then what is your next timeline? When do you suspect, like, full-blown production to take effect? Also, if I mint Quantum Traders today, when would I expect the first airdrop, and when would I be able to stake and claim? Give me some timelines here.
Yes. So first of all, pre-sale is today, and the full mint is on the 6th, so in 2 days. And then from that point, we actually have another surprise as well that we will hopefully release tomorrow. Yes, next week is beta. And from that point, we sort of have the building blocks in place, and then it's that's where the real work starts, as it relates to releasing an IDO is not a a simple thing, right? You need to make sure that you're talking to investors and the community is up to date. What are you doing and where are you going? And so we're aiming to get all of that done in Q1. So at this point, we're aiming to launch the IDO end of Q1, and that's also where the airdrops and things will happen, and then people will be able to start staking, etc.
Okay, very good then. So and then you'll have liquidity pools too. I assume you're going to work with the dexes so that way that trading can take
Yes.
place.
Yep.
Okay. Do you have any dexes in mind that you're going to put it on, or just all of them?
You can take a guess the main ones, but it's a bit premature to throw out the names
Gotcha.
yet.
Yeah,
or
yeah.
at this point.
Totally agree with you there. Okay. So what additional information am I missing? I feel like I've got a good wrap around what the platform's trying to do. I feel like I understand some of the tokenomics that are happening here, where percentage of the fees goes towards a treasury. There's going to be emission of the tokens over 24 months. I understand the difference between the SolStein and the quantum traders. I even have the timelines, or rough timelines, I should say. What am I missing? What's the catch?
What do you mean, what's the catch?
Exactly. What's the catch? What did I miss here? I feel like there's got to be something about this that's like, well, this is,
Not really. I mean, we've tried to be as transparent as possible, and we have great advisors around us, who have poked holes into, stock or the entire token economics, and feel very good where we arrived. Again, like, this is team effort. Like, we have now a team of 8 people plus a couple of advisors. So yeah, just grateful for the team, awesome work that has gone into this right now, and I just can't wait as we execute towards these features, because yeah, I mean, I really look forward to once we're able to launch, for example, the player versus player game, and the tournament module that, instead of just doing a random, hey, retweet this and then win potentially NFT, any community or any influencer can set up a tournament, set a price, goes into the escrow, it's there, and now people compete for it, right? I'm just yeah, it's hard to sleep at this point of stage. I want to build.
All right, I did think of a question while we were just talking there. So the treasury is going to hold Sol. That's going to be a stabilization and backing of the Yawww token. If I'm a Yawww holder, will I be able to redeem the Yawww for the Sol that's in the treasury?
So that will be a community decision. We will likely use, there's going to be different mechanisms, right? Like, do we want to use the Sol in the treasury to provide liquidity and earn extra revenue through that? That's one option, right? There's going to be then the utility mechanisms that you can use the Yawww on the platform itself. Or, at one stage, if price falls, like, let's say, below X amount, the community takes the decision that, we should buy back, use a portion of the treasury funds to do that. And again, in order to sort of provide the stability to the token. So that's why we sort of keep it flexible, but again, transparent, and so that the community and the holders have a say in it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. That answers my questions then. So I feel like I've got my head wrapped around this. I'm excited for this mint that's coming up.
Awesome.
And I am definitely going to participate in that. So is there anything else that you want to wrap up and say to the audience who's listening? Is there anything that we missed, or any sign-off remarks?
Not really. I honestly just want to thank the community. I mean, Knox, that's basically the main reason why you're here, right? Like, I've also seen your material and it's almost every day. The community is great, and we feel also a lot of support from every angle around Yawww, and just grateful and humble around it. That's it.
That's cool, man. I love it. I feel like the Solana community is unlike any other community that we see, and it's exciting to still be early. I know it feels like an eternity has passed.
Yeah, exactly.
But I mean, we're still in its infancy. Like, it's barely crawling at this point.
We absolutely are. But, just from the builder perspective, man, it just works. It's fast. Despite a couple of hiccups, but, yesterday, for example, but it was Genesis that ago, idea. I mean, not going to be angry about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, one example is, when we were just beginning, it was a new brand, new name. Does the service work? And people were asking, hey guys, like, are you audited? And we weren't, right? So it's more like, okay, so how do you sort of prove that this works and etc. So we just went out to the community, and the lead developer from the Monkey DAO just, hey, like, I can take a look. And then they did, and they audited our code, and they did expect nothing in return. And, you know, it's just great.
That's really cool. I love to hear that. I love to hear how everybody just pitches in, and we're building this thing together, and it's a really special time.
Absolutely.
We are early, and we are going to make it.
We absolutely are.
All right, so I think we're going to wrap up there. Thank you again, Robo, for your time. This has been very exciting to talk to you about the platform, SolStein's quantum traders, minting today, probably going to sell out super fast. So I guess, you know, if you're watching this after the mint has occurred, just go to secondary because the volume's probably going to fly today. So thanks for stopping by, y'all. I'll see you in the next one.